High above the clouds, a commercial passenger plane originating from New York cruises toward its destination. The cabin is quiet, until a sudden, violent wave of turbulence shakes the fuselage. Without warning, the engines fail entirely. A chaotic electrical storm engulfs the plane, and the sheer aerodynamic stress rips the aircraft apart midair, sending the severed tail section plummeting toward the ground below. Amidst the wreckage, LeBlanc regains consciousness. As a television survival expert, he is equipped with practical wilderness knowledge, but nothing prepares him for what he sees upon opening his eyes. Through the haze of the crash, a strange figure approaches. A man covered entirely in red paint stands over Eric's son, Timmy, lifting the unconscious boy from the debris and carrying him off into the surrounding trees. Finding food and shelter now takes a back seat to a targeted pursuit. To find Timmy, Eric must track the man in red through an environment that is as hostile as it is unfamiliar. The crash site sits on an isolated Canadian peninsula, defined by steep mountain peaks and miles of dense, unforgiving pine forest. To sustain himself, Eric falls back on his training. He chops timber, constructs a fortified shelter, and fashions crude weapons from sticks and stones to protect himself from the elements. A scan of the coastline reveals an abandoned white motor yacht floating in a quiet bay. The vessel sits silent, suggesting that other outsiders reached this peninsula long ago, but never managed to leave. Eric quickly realizes he is being watched. Gaunt, sallow-skinned humanoids observe him from the tree line. They are highly organized, moving in packs and coordinating their movements. These locals mark their territory by constructing grotesque effigies made from dismembered human remains. The structures serve as religious totems, projecting an obsession that borders on the fanatical. The surface offers no permanent safety, and more importantly, no sign of Timmy. Driven by the trail left by the man in red, Eric abandons his camp and pushes into a dark, subterranean cave network winding beneath the forest floor. The caves are claustrophobic and entirely devoid of natural light. Eric navigates by the faint glow of a lighter, wading through stagnant water and deep limestone caverns. Deep within the rock, the humanoid surface dwellers are replaced by severe genetic anomalies. Hulking creatures with multiple flailing arms and pale, multi-legged horrors patrol the darkest chambers. These entities possess biological structures that defy natural evolution. They appear as grotesque patchworks of multiple human forms fused together. Mixed in with the gear of dead cave divers, Eric finds more evidence of the Red Man's passage. Timmy's crayon drawings are now paired with something new, a pristine, yellow corporate security keycard. Finding high-tech security cards in the same tunnels as these anomalies indicates a controlled, manufactured origin. These caverns lead toward a facility where the grotesque is carefully engineered. Eric follows the cave system downward until it empties into a massive, open-air sinkhole at the center of the island. At the very bottom lies a heavy, modern vault door, which swings open at the swipe of his keycard. Inside is a sprawling, sterile research facility built by Sahara Therapeutics. The American megacorporation constructed this complex specifically to house and study ancient artifacts discovered deep underground. This schematic illustrates the focal point of their research, the Resurrection Obelisk. Under a corporate initiative called Project Jarius, Sahara intended to use the artifact's transmuting properties to cure terminally ill children through aggressive genetic alteration. The project's lead researcher, Dr. Matthew Cross, was driven by a personal motive. His daughter, Megan, suffered from an incurable degenerative disease. He pushed the trials forward, ignoring the severe cellular instability the obelisk caused in early test subjects. The side effects of that instability proved catastrophic. The mutated children grew rapidly and broke out of containment. The ensuing slaughter decimated the facility's staff, and in the chaos, Megan Cross was killed. Consumed by grief and officially terminated from his corporate position, Dr. Cross lost his grip on reality. He coated himself in red paint to ward off the surface cannibals and retreated into the facility. Cross required a living child to operate the Resurrection Obelisk and bring Megan back. To get one, he accessed a secondary artifact known as the Power Obelisk, a device capable of firing a localized electromagnetic pulse. Eric's arrival on the peninsula was never an accident. Cross tracked a commercial flight, calculated the odds of a child surviving, and fired the EMP into the sky. He brought down the plane specifically to steal Timmy. Navigating past the ruined laboratories, Eric finally reaches the resurrection obelisk. Its metal casing is open, revealing Timmy's lifeless body resting against its internal spikes. The machine has already cycled. Dr. Cross successfully used Timmy as the biological battery to revive his daughter. But the resurrection process is deeply flawed. When Eric locates Megan, her body violently mutates into a massive, arachnid-like monstrosity. To survive, Eric is forced to kill the very child his son was sacrificed to save. Desperate, Eric carries Megan's corpse back to the obelisk, hoping to reverse the transaction and bring Timmy back. The machine rejects the input. Its mechanical logic is absolute. It requires a living human sacrifice. Armed with a high-level access card found near the machine, Eric takes an elevator shaft rising thousands of feet through the mountain, emerging in an observation deck overlooking the forest. At the center of the room sits the power obelisk. Beside it is a corporate radar terminal. The screen displays a live feed of an approaching passenger jet, actively flagging 3 viable matches for a child passenger. Eric is presented with a binary choice. He can shut the system down, walk away, and accept that Timmy is gone. Or he can press the button, killing hundreds of innocent people to harvest a child for the machine. Driven by the exact same parental desperation that corrupted Dr. Cross, Eric presses the activation button. The power obelisk erupts with highly energetic electricity, sending a targeted electromagnetic wave directly into the flight path above. 1 year later, Eric sits under the bright studio lights of a daytime television talk show. He is promoting a book about his ordeal, and beside him sits Timmy, fully resurrected and seemingly healthy. The cheerful interview is abruptly cut short when Timmy collapses to the floor. His body is gripped by violent physical seizures, matching the exact preliminary symptoms of the genetic anomalies back on the island. Eric conquered the peninsula's wilderness and defeated its apex predators, but he failed the ultimate moral test. By using the obelisk to defy death, he ensured that the monstrous cycle of sacrifice and mutation will continue.